Hey toy collectors, welcome to another super exciting outrageous toy review. My buddy Ryan's here. He just got the toy collecting bug again and wanted to share some super soakers with us.
So my kids brought home one of these new ones, and I thought I was a cool guy, cool dad. I said, man, they don't make them like they used to. Let me show you. And I picked up that. That was the beginning of it. That's the Super Soaker 50. And this is the iconic Super Soaker of our childhood.
Everyone had one of these back in the day.
Yeah, if you go up from like the water pistol that you get at the grocery store that looks like a ray gun or something like that, you're like, no, let me show you the real stuff. And there was that. And you know, everybody knows about it, but the thing that made the Super Soaker so cool is that you could pump it up.
Right.
And it shot really far. Compared to what the kids have now, though, this thing is so much better. And it's better for a few reasons. Number one is look how like this flimsy it is, like this part here.
Yeah, this is real.
Like see how it's like shaky and stuff like that? I had like 3 of these growing up. One my dog ate. Literally ate the whole thing. Right? Just gone. One I fell on. And it broke in a million pieces. And the other one, I don't know. I aged out of it or whatever. That was it. The new ones, you can't over pump them. You can't just keep going and going and going to the point where it'll break itself.
Okay.
Because the O-rings, there's different internal parts that break. With the new ones, they just release a little bit when they're going, and that makes them better. So the combination of it being more durable and more safe from you breaking it yourself is what makes it cool. But I still think the old ones are fun.
The old ones are so classic. The Super Soaker 50 and the Super Soaker 100 were like every kid's dream in the 90s. If you didn't have a Super Soaker and you were in a water gun fight, you were toast.
So I got this one, this big guy. This is Super Soaker 100. And I guess one of the most iconic places this was seen was in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids ride. I don't know if it's in the actual movie, but it's in the ride at Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
And it's like this big life-sized one, which I think is awesome. Must be in the movie. But when I saw that there was a boxed one, I had to have it because so many of the ones out there are like rough.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems, and you can't really get parts from it or anything like that. So you're stuck. You're stuck with what you have, but it's great to have a good example of it.
So you picked that one up on eBay?
I picked that one up on eBay. This one I got locally.
Okay.
And I was really happy that I got that. But I got another one.
Okay.
And that's the MDS here, the multi-dimensional soaker. And this one's a lot like the 50, but the difference is that you can turn the beam like this. So say you're at a house and you're holding it like this, and you want to get the kid that's on the other side of the house. You go like this and hold it around the corner and give it to them.
It's like for strafing. You can
you can kind of just angle it every which way, which I think is super awesome. And this one looks like it's seen some water.
Yeah, that one got wet in somebody's basement.
Back of it.
I had this exact same Super Soaker as a kid, except for I don't know if it was released first and then modified to this idea. It didn't have the handle on the front. It's called the Super Soaker 60. It had a different color scheme, but it was just a slightly more sturdy, better Super Soaker 50.
You know, these Super Soakers, they all have these crazy bright colors. It's very 90s.
Yes.
It's very, even though this came out in 89, whatever, it's very 90s. But Laramie was a very different company a few years earlier. And I picked this up because while I was searching for these on eBay, I was like, are you crazy? This is what Laramie's doing? This is the Laramie Uzi, and I'm gonna hold that up so you can see that. This is actually a cap gun, and it is insane. Could you imagine them making a toy like this today?
Well, no, and that's the problem with this. Look at how little orange there is. They get away with the child safety rules back then with that little ring. No one's gonna see that in a split-second kind of life and death situation.
Absolutely not. And to make matters worse, this isn't a water gun. It's a cap gun. Like, it's crazy. And if you look at the whole line, like, look at that.
They make just about any kind of handgun you could ever imagine.
It's insane. So I'm not letting my kids anywhere near this thing.
No.
But it's a funny historical thing. It's the Z-Matic cap gun. And you read it, like the safety instructions on this are like the safety instructions for a real gun. Treat every gun with respect. Do a loaded gun. Unload guns when not in use. Store guns and ammunition separately. It's like when your toy has ammunition, it's time to draw the line. You know.
So at least they were teaching people to be responsible gun owners.
I guess so. So the Super Soakers looked like this throughout the 90s and early 2000s, and then they started getting bigger.
Right.
There was the XPS line. There was just a whole bunch of different lines where they got super bulky and super away from the main.
Eventually, you needed straps to hold them, and
stuff.
backpacks and.
Oh yeah, it got crazy, right? But Super Soakers never really stopped. There may have been a few years where there wasn't something, but I think that there was a turning point when they started considering doing the retro designs that came out this year. And I think that turning point was the Supreme Super Soaker. If you're not familiar with Supreme, they're like a skateboard lifestyle clothing brand, but they're always doing crazy stuff. Like I think the next thing they're doing like arcade one-ups that are customized.
Okay.
Like they have like a Supreme red one, stuff like that. So in addition to doing clothing and stuff like that, they also just say, hey, we're going to bring back a skateboard, or we're going to bring back, pogs, or they're going to do
whatever
something.
Trendy thing, yeah.
And a couple years ago, 2 years ago, they came out with the Supreme, and notice it doesn't have the style of the Super Soakers that come out today. It's a Super Soaker 50.
Very retro, yeah.
It's a little different from the ones that you could find like on the shelf at Walmart or wherever now. It actually doesn't have a detachable reservoir here. It actually has a cap.
Okay. So it's like
that does it.
Fill port.
So it's way more like the modern ones. But the action on it, it's funny calling it action like it's a gun, but the action on it is very much reminiscent of the classics.
Right.
But this comes out, and then 18 months later, we're into the new line. We're into the XPs.
I think it's interesting that with those modern ones, now that Hasbro owns Super Soaker, they're also branding them Nerf. Like all of their play weapons have the Nerf branding on it for brand recognition.
I think that works.
Oh, totally.
It's awesome. I'm a big fan of the new Nerf stuff. We're always having Nerf wars and stuff around here. It's a little.
They've got so much like role play and LARPing type weapons as well as the old guns.
Were you here when we had the motorized Nerf drone?
Yes.
Yeah, I forget what that thing's called, but we drove it across a cornfield and did all kinds of crazy stuff. I like that one.
That was cool.
Yeah. So I mean, this is my Super Soaker collection. My kids have two of the new XP 100s.
Okay.
And they have held up.
Yeah.
Since May.
All right.
They've held up.
That's
good. That's a good run.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy with them.
Awesome. It's really cool that you brought these so we could check them out and share them with everybody. Did you guys ever have Super Soakers? Let me know in the comments down below which model you had. It brings back so many memories to see these again. I just thought about it. I had a keychain.
Oh yeah,
that came as like a pack-in or like somebody gave it to me as like a party favor, but a really tiny Super Soaker keychain of the 50.
That's cool.
All right, thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous tour review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos.